Hi everyone, welcome here. So today I want to try something called Swedish Death Cleaning. I have been minimizing my life, decluttering my life for a number of years now, but I always use the same method. Anytime I'm evaluating something to either keep or get rid of in my life, I always think to myself, does this add value? And what I like about that is that it can be highly personalized, but also very broad, right? When you think about something sort of benign that you own in your life, like a pair of socks or a plate or something like that, those things don't necessarily do something like spark joy, but they are highly useful. So I've always used that as a measure of, do I want to keep something or do I want to get rid of it? But that's only one way to do things. And so I have recently been learning about Swedish death cleaning and I wanted to try it out. So Swedish death cleaning, in its most basic definition, is evaluating the things that you have so that when you pass, your loved ones aren't burdened with your stuff. So apparently this is something that is very normalized in Swedish culture. It's done all the time. And typically it's done around the age of 65, which is supposed to be the age when you are still very physically able to do a lot of the decluttering. But it's also something that you can do several times in your life, which is why it is appealing to me, because I am not 65, but we also never know when our last day here is gonna be. So it doesn't really need to equate, in my mind, to something that only people who are getting older need to do. So what attracted me to this in the first place is first just trying something new. But also, this process is very different in that it's not really centered on you. It's not really about you. It's about the other people in your life and thinking about your impact and the stuff that your impact will have on them. So you're really thinking about the connections to the ones who are closest to you. Okay, so before I get going today, one of the things in Swedish death cleaning is that you are supposed to have sort of an honest conversation with your loved ones about what they would want of yours if you pass. Okay, so Murphy, in the event that I die before you, what of my things would you want to keep?
Engagement ring, wedding ring, dog.
Okay, we'll declutter the dog.
I think that's it. I think it would just be too painful to like see reminders of you everywhere. So like have something that's like really special, but I don't have to look at it all the time.
Okay, so first of all, I've never thought about the way in which my things could be a barrier in someone else's grieving process. And if it wasn't for this exercise, I don't know that I would have ever known that. Okay, so already I'm sort of liking this. On the other hand, however, this process is starting to feel like it was more designed for those with a traditional family. And what I mean by that is particularly people who are married and have children. I think legacy is a complicated and layered thing to unpack, and we won't get into it in the video today, but I think for someone like myself who doesn't have children, or I think about even some of the people in my life who don't have a partner or don't have children or are estranged from certain parts of their family, that this might be not the best method for those types of people. Okay, so I haven't fully unpacked that idea. You're sort of discovering this with me. But a couple other things before I start. Swedish death cleaning, they say to start with the biggest things first, things like furniture, things that are easy, like your closet, which is similar to other decluttering methods. It also says to go room by room versus some other decluttering methods that will tell you to go around your house and collect all of your paper, or go around your house and collect all of your books and do it by item type. This is really saying focus on one room at a time. All right, let's try some Swedish death cleaning. My keep pile. Okay, here's my box for decluttered stuff. I feel like I'm already struggling. So I'm trying to follow the rules and be like, okay, big things first. It specifically said furniture. And so there's two things. There's this, right, which I honestly found outside on the property when we moved in and just brought it inside and put plates and bowls and stuff on it. and I don't really like it, and I want to get rid of it, but I want to put some floating shelves there, but I don't have those floating shelves. Okay, and then I'm still having the same issue over here where I just tried moving this because I don't like it. And it felt unbalanced, and it took a lot of warmth out of the whole living room space. But I don't have something else. I don't know how else to style that corner so that it doesn't feel sort of empty and unbalanced. So already there's two things that I'm like, okay, I want to get rid of these, but I am not. I feel like it's the get rid of big things that's kind of throwing me off. So let's change. It also says to do your closet first, but I want to do the kitchen first. I'm gonna make my own rules. Let's do the kitchen. Okay, so we're making some progress. Some of these are questions. Like, Murphy took our ice maker out of our refrigerator, I think because it was broken. So I don't know, can we just get rid of that? I don't know, I gotta ask him that. Also, when we bought this house, it was a fully furnished Airbnb, and by furnished I mean it had like everything. Like, it had all of these containers. This was like some of the decor in the house, and like a lot of it we already decluttered, but some of it we haven't. Like, we kept these because all of our containers are glass, and we're like, oh, it might be nice to have a plastic container for like hiking or climbing or whatever from time to time. And now we've been here for a year, and these have just been sitting in the cabinet for a year. So I'm like, do we really need those? Same thing with these. I was like, well, these are cool, but like, they're just sitting in a cabinet. Okay, so I'm just starting. I'm only like 10 minutes into this, but I'm kind of already having a hard time. So one of the tools that Swedish Death Cleaning says to use is to ask yourself, will this item make somebody happier? I feel like I could look at every item in my house besides the two things that Murphy named and say no, right? Like, I don't think any of the objects in my house necessarily make me happier. They make me more comfortable. They make like the vibe of the space better. They make my life easier. They make it so that I can express my personal style. I don't think that any of that is necessarily what is leading to greater happiness. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know. Like, I can't look at a sweater in my closet and be like, this is making me happier. And also, it's not about me. I can't think of a time when any of the objects in my life I think are gonna make me happier. And maybe that's having to do with the things that Murphy said in terms of like the objects standing in the way of processing grief. It's feeling like the opposite. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so this is an interesting thing to come across as I'm doing this. So this is my grandmother's, and inside it is a little note that she wrote me in 1986 that says, I want this given to my name, Love Grammy, 11/25/1986. So what's so interesting is that I was 4 years old in 1986, and I probably told her that I loved this or something like that. And she left it for me. And the thing is like, this isn't a cabinet. I'm not sure that I love this like as an object in my house, but I love the note that's inside. And I don't have a ton of my grandmother's things. I probably have like 5 or 6 of my grandmother's things, but this, when I think about what I have of hers, this is what I think of. This makes me feel like I shouldn't leave my loved ones anything. I should just write them all letters. What if I did that? Because like stuff is just stuff. You know, I probably would have felt very differently about this object if it didn't have the letter inside. Regardless, I'm keeping this. Okay, this is how we're coming along. I have a couple new piles. This I found underneath the sink, and these are like cleaning strips that you dissolve in water that got wet somehow, and now they're hard as a rock. So I think those are no good anymore. Some cleaning cloths. I don't think that I can donate these. I'm probably just gonna get rid of them. And then I have 2 new piles. This was actually lent to me. It's a friend who I'm gonna see tomorrow, so I'm gonna bring that back to her. And then this is a question pile for Murphy. I found all of these papers squirreled in that cabinet over there. I'm not sure if he needs any of them. Most of them are from an old job he doesn't have anymore. And then I have no idea what this is. I also found that in that cabinet. All right, but we're moving along. So far, this doesn't feel that different than other declutters that I've done. But I feel like I've done everything out in this room of the house. I've done the kitchen cabinets, the pantry cabinet, this thing. So we'll move into the bedroom, I suppose. Oh, this is a big item that I can declutter. We've been talking about getting rid of this. This is a Murphy bed. I don't even think I can, oh, you can see it pulls down from the ceiling. But we've lived here again for 1 full year now and have never used it. And we've had guests, and the guests have not used this, because the weird thing is it's in our bedroom. Like, here's where we sleep, and here's where the Murphy bed is. I think it was designed like when this was an Airbnb for like kids to sleep in or something like that, but it is not useful. I guess it's not making me happier. Anyways, I don't think I can't declutter this by myself. But I guess this is on the list of things to be decluttered. I think it's stuck to the wall so that it doesn't fall. But that'll be a big item to declutter. And I think it would be great to put some extra storage there, because if you saw my house tour, you know that this is the only closet in the house. Okay, that said, I actually don't think there's anything to declutter from here. This just has my computer's glasses, that kind of thing. I guess it's on to clothes. Okay, I said clothes, but I think what I actually should do is jewelry to start. Well, there are my rings. Can you focus on that? This is actually my engagement ring. Murphy made this. It's carved out of wood, and then in the center channel here is sand from his hometown, sand from my hometown, and then sand. We were living in a beach town at the time we got engaged. And so sand from the town we were living in together all combined into one, into that channel. And this is my wedding ring. So we'll keep those. Those will make someone else happier. I'm going to declutter this. It's like a midi ring that I never wear. And then in here, these, I don't know why I have the card for it too. These discolored, I guess I won't call out that company, but these earrings discolored the first time that I wore them and I went out in the sun. It was like the most bizarre thing. They were like shiny, shiny gold color, and I can't get them clean again. So I'm gonna declutter those. Those are the backings that go with them. And then I never, ever wear this watch. I thought that this was gonna be like my fancy girl watch, and I wore it one time several years ago when I had a fancy girl thing to do, and I haven't touched it since. So we'll declutter that. I'll keep my everyday watch and the band. I wear that. I wear all of these necklaces. And I wear all of that. It's a cleaning cloth. Okay. All right, so a little declutter pile here. Okay, I think this is the only thing that I have identified to possibly get rid of, only because I haven't worn it in a long time, but she's a classic, you know? I haven't worn it in probably 2 years though. I'm gonna put it, I have this basket down here, which has a couple other things that I'm debating. Maybe I'll put it in there for a little while and see if I miss it. Same thing with this sweater. I like this sweater, but I never reach for it. I think because it's not, I want my sweaters to like, you know, cover everything because I'm usually freezing cold. And this one is just, it's like very open. It's also the only pink thing that I own. Not sure why I was gravitated towards buying this, but I was. I don't know, it's a cool sweater. Maybe I'll also put this in that basket. I'm doing a terrible job. So typically, especially with my closet, when I declutter my closet, the method that I've always used is like take everything out and go through one by one. And I feel like that helps me be a little bit more discerning, because right now I just am like picking a couple things out of the closet and being like, I guess I like it still. Maybe I'll just put it in the basket to be evaluated later. All right. Okay, last up is the bathroom. I'm sitting here on the bathroom floor. I just went through everything in the bathroom fairly recently, except this over here, which is Murphy's stuff and like a crate full of like medicine and first aid and stuff like that. So obviously Murphy can go through his own things, but I'll go through the medicine and stuff. I'm feeling like really low energy about this, to be honest. I'll finish and then give some final thoughts, but I feel like I'm failing. Let's keep going. Okay, I mean, here's what I'm decluttering from here. Some things that are expired. A half-used cotton ball? I don't know. And an old sunglass case. I have no idea what those things were doing in there. But that's what I did. Oh, and then I didn't show you what I got from the bedroom. This is all I did for clothes. This is why I feel like I'm failing. A pair of socks, an old white t-shirt I never wear, a pair of pants, an old pillowcase. I actually think I'm gonna not declutter this. I'm gonna move this because I might use that as a bag. A piece of artwork again that was in the house when we got here. Some old hair ties that I use a different kind now. And then this old microphone that doesn't work with the camera that I have now. So that's it. Okay, so you could probably tell by the end of that I was sort of losing steam and motivation and energy to complete that process. It just wasn't clicking for me. And I think some of the things I shared along the way in the video really do hold true for me. I think this is sort of a difficult tool to use if you don't have a traditional family structure. And I do think that if I was decluttering for the very first time, I might have felt a little bit differently about it. But also I really struggle with the idea of our objects being linked to more or less happiness. I don't know, it's just not really how I think about the things that I have in my life. It really is about the value that they add and not sort of the happiness that they bring. But I don't know, maybe I just need to sit with that idea a little bit more, be more open-minded about it perhaps, but I don't know. Have you all done Swedish death cleaning before? Have you had a different experience than me? I'm just trying to decide if I am too stuck in my ways and not seeing the value in this, or if perhaps it really isn't for someone like me. So anyways, that's it for this week's video. Let me go get Gypsy. What I heard in my last video is more Gypsy. So let me go get her so she can say goodbye. You want to say goodbye? Oh, she got a face full of cactus this morning. Oh, there's still some in it. I know. Oh, what would you like when I die? Just the treats. All right, got it. I won't declutter those. Bye.
That question is irrelevant.
Oh, God.
Because statistically, you will outlive me.
I die before you. Ah! You put those words back in your mouth. See, she wants you to put them back in your mouth.
Are we done? We did it! Oh, you're sleepy. Okay.